Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala abdihi wa rasulihi al-ameen. Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome to this new episode of Ask Huda, coming to you live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And you can call us on the numbers you will find displayed at the bottom of the screen, inshallah. The first question on my emails is, can we as Muslims say or wish someone happy Christmas or say Christmas greetings? The scholars of Islam all agree. It is the consensus of all scholars of Islam that it is not permissible to greet the non-Muslims on their religious feasts, holidays, and festivals. It is completely impermissible for Muslims to greet them. So you cannot greet them whether they are original holidays or feasts, or in their religion that is, or it is fabricated. So for example, Thanksgiving. This is not part of Christianity. It is a celebration because of the first harvest that the immigrants to the new lands had after so many years of starvation and drought, etc. So they're commemorating that day with what's known as Thanksgiving. This is not in Christianity, but it is related to their culture and to their religion, and that is why it's forbidden for us to greet them with this festival. Christmas, New Year's, Easter, all of these occasions, it is not permissible for a Muslim to say Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Easter, Halloween, etc. All of these are fabricated. The scholars of Islam say that it is completely prohibited to greet them. And this is the consensus of Muslims, not one or two who said it is not permissible. Now, having said that, some scholars go to the extreme where they say that whoever greets them may nullify his Islam. Because you're greeting them and you are congratulating them on a sin, on blasphemy, on making Jesus the Son of God. And this is blasphemy in Islam. If someone says that Jesus is God or he's the Son of God, he's not a Muslim, he's not a believer, he's doomed in hell. So when you come to them and say Merry Christmas and greeting them on that occasion, then this may nullify your Islam as a Muslim as well. But if not, then at least it is a major sin, and it is like congratulating them if one is fornicating and you say, oh, good job, good for you. Or he's consuming intoxicants, or he's prostrating to the cross, and you're congratulating them and giving him your greetings. Now, I believe that the majority of Muslims know this, and that is why they don't send greeting cards on these occasions to the non-Muslims. Not because they're rude, not because the Muslims have something against these events or something personal. It is an issue of religion. As Muslims, we are proud of our identity, we're proud of our religion, and we have great respect to that, and that is why we do not go down to the level of the disbelievers. If they want to celebrate their occasions, it's up to them. We have nothing to do with it. Now one asks and says, what about if they come to us and say, good morning, Merry Christmas to you? You should not respond. You should either say good morning to you as well, or you should say thank you, or even may Allah guide you. But never say and to you as well, or Merry Christmas to you as well, and enjoy your New Year vacation. All of this is prohibited and forbidden in Islam. Another person would ask, but they always say Happy Eid for us. And we have two occasions in Islam. Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So they come and greet us. Well, greet them back saying thank you. And I hope that you also enjoy your vacation on Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha. Why? Because our Eids are legit. They are from the Quran and from the Sunnah. And our religion is the correct religion. That's the end of discussion. We don't have to go down to explaining ourselves. Our religion is the religion, the only religion acceptable at the side of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, a lot of the Muslims, or some of them, may fall under the inferiority complex. And you would find Muslims having Christmas trees and giving gifts and enjoying the season of Christmas and New Year because it's holidays, they go out, they go party. Now these people fall under the category where the Prophet said in the authentic hadith sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمَنْ تَشَبَّهَ بِقَوْمٍ فَهُمْ مِنْهُ. Whoever imitates a group of people, he is among them and from them. So if you imitate the disbelievers, you may become one as well. That is why it is completely prohibited to decorate the eggs as in Easter, where the Orthodox may do. It's in Egypt, it's done in Lebanon. This is completely unacceptable. Ahmed from Saudi Arabia. Ahmed. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have a question. My wife is mentioning that whenever we have wudu, and if I touch her, we have to make wudu one more time. Is that right?
Okay. Any more questions?
That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Ahmed is asking about an issue only adopted by a Shafi'i madhab. So most likely his wife is following a Shafi'i madhab. And Al-Imam al-Shafi'i is the only one who stated that whenever a man touches a woman or the opposite, the wudu is nullified. But this is not correct, and the ruling of the majority is the correct, because Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said that the Prophet ﷺ used to hear the call for the adhan, for the prayer, and he used to leave the house after kissing his wife and praying without renewing his wudu. So touching is much less than kissing. So if the Prophet was doing this alayhi salatu wasalam, this tells us that touching the opposite sex, especially if it's your wife, your sister, your mother, does not affect your wudu at all. Nawab has a question. He says, a boy in my class gave a translation of the Quran which has only Surah Al-Fatiha in Arabic text to our teacher. I told him that it was forbidden, but he didn't listen. Is this permissible if the teacher is a good person and I don't think that she is going to disrespect it in any way? The issue of touching the disbeliever to the mushaf, to the copy of the noble Quran, is an issue of dispute. The majority say that this is forbidden. The majority say that it is forbidden even for a Muslim who's not in the state of wudu. So by default, a disbeliever, a kafir, cannot touch the Quran, which is in Arabic. Now, they differ whether a portion of the Quran is considered to be Quran, whether a translation at the edges of the Quran would be still considered a copy of the Quran. So Sheikh bin Baz and other scholars say that if you have a translation of the meaning of the Holy Quran printed at the side of a copy of the Arabic Quran, then this book, this volume is not considered to be the Quran because it has other words than Allah around it. And at times it's even more in number than the actual words of the Quran. So in this case, it is permissible to be given to a disbeliever. Now, as you've stated that it is Al-Fatiha in Arabic and its translation, so by this opinion of Sheikh bin Baz and other scholars, it is permissible. But it is better, as long as he or she does not know how to read Arabic, it's best to give them a translation in English or in another language without the Arabic text. Do we have Muhammad online? Muhammad?
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. Listen to me from the phone and mute your TV, please.
Yes. Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, Muhammad, what can I do for you?
First of all, I must say that I love you for lillahi wa li rasul, wallahi.
Jazakallah khair. May Allah Azza wa Jalla love you as well.
Then the second thing is that I have 2 or 3 questions. The first question is that when the azan of Fajr made, when they said the as-salam khairu min al-nawm, how many rakah is supposed to be there? What prayers is supposed to be there? Because we have that problem here in our masjid. That's number one. The second question is that when the imam is making khutbah, if someone comes in, normally some people, many of them, they come in and say assalamu alaikum and people don't answer them. Normally people don't answer. I want to know what is the reason of that. The third and last question is that when by some circumstances passes and you see that you are not able to do the salah anything at that moment, then you come in and you're supposed to pray 2 rak'ahs first, or you have to do the fard. That was the question. That was the question, sir.
If you go to the masjid and you find the congregation being prayed, are you asking about should I join them or pray Tahiyatul Masjid first?
No, you fail the prayers. You fail the prayers. For example, you pass it on the way when you have traffic jam. So you pass it on the way. You arrive there, they prayed already.
Okay.
So what do you do first? You have to do any other salah. You have to do Tahiyatul Masjid first, or you have to do. You have to pay directly your salary as God.
Okay, one last question, Muhammad. The first question, you're asking about the salat khayrun min al-nawm. Are you asking about how many rak'ahs do I pray after the adhan, or what to say?
No, but the problem is you have that here, many people here, what we have here is that they came in and they find that they made that adhan already. And they started to pray Tahiyatul Masjid, they pray 2 more. And
okay.
There is some misunderstanding to people because some people say that they're supposed to do that all the 2 rak'ahs and they live with dalils.
I will answer your question, inshallah. Mean? From the Emirates, I did not get the name.
Hello?
Yes, from the Emirates. Yes, sister.
Yes, I'm from the Emirates. You can write me Iman.
Iman. Okay, Iman. What can I do for you?
Iman.
Yes, sister. What can I do for you?
Hello?
Yes, Iman. What's your question?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My question is it... Hello?
Yes. Listen to me from... Yes, listen to me from the phone.
Yeah.
Mute your TV, please.
Yes. Is it permitted or recommended to recite a particular surah or a portion of the Holy Quran either once or for a specific number of times before attempting or going for any important work? Say, for example, Surah Yasin or Surah Fatah or Surah Muzammil or any other part of the Quran, any particular ayah.
Okay.
Because it is a very prevalent thing in our family to particularly recite ayat or something before going for a particular work. Is it permitted?
Okay. Any more questions?
No, thank you. Same for Asmaul Husna, the name of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Same question for that too.
Okay. I will, inshallah. Abu Khadija from Emirates. Abu Khadija.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm surviving, alhamdulillah. What can I do for you?
Yes.
Yes, Abu Khadija. What can I do for you?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Abu Khadija.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. One, quickly, praying Jama'ah Salah in a prayer room or in a masjid?
Okay. Yes.
Which one, is it the same hasanat or is one better than the other? If the masjid is a bit farther than the prayer room.
Okay, second question.
Second question is there's a sister who wants to know, her husband basically said to her in Arabic, talaq 3 times.
Okay.
Alik bi talaq salat, something like this. At one time, he said it at one time, and this is the first time he said it in a state of anger.
Okay.
Can you give us a ruling on this? Is it talaq? What do they have to do? They're in the U.S.
Will do, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
وجزاك يا أخي. Imran from Saudi?
Yes, Jeddah.
From Jeddah. Yes, Imran. What can I do for you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
I think I have one question regarding the 5 times of prayer.
Okay.
Basically, I belong from India. I'm staying in Jeddah. There, they are praying Fajr 2 rakat Sunnah, 2 rakat Fard. And in Dohar, they are praying 12, in Asr 8, Maghrib 7, and Isha 17. What are the rulings, any actual ruling? I think they are following the Hanafi madhab over there.
Okay. I will answer your question.
What are the, which madhab we have to follow? We have 4, right? What are the rulings on this, yani?
Okay. I will answer your question, son, inshallah.
Thank you.
Okay. Muhammad, he had 3 questions. The first question was, now we see people coming after the adhan to the masjid and praying a number of units. So what is the most authentic opinion? If you come, if you hear the adhan and you're in your home, the sunnah for you is to pray in your home the 2 rak'ahs known as Sunnat al-Fajr or Raghibat al-Fajr, which is the highest in degree, in level, in reward of all other voluntary prayers. And then you walk to the masjid. If you enter the masjid and the congregation is not established yet, then you cannot sit until you pray 2 rak'ahs of what is known as Tahiyyatul Masjid or greeting of the masjid. And after that, you wait until you are not permitted. It is forbidden for you to pray any other prayer until the Fajr prayer is called for Iqamah. Then you pray the 2 rak'ah of Fard. If you leave your home without praying the Sunnah of the Fajr and you enter the masjid, you only pray 2 rak'ahs of Sunnat al-Fajr. And the 2 rak'ahs of Tahiyyatul Masjid, the greeting of the masjid, would come underneath. So you pray 2 rak'ahs for the price of 4. Alhamdulillah. Can I offer voluntary prayers? It is prohibited to offer voluntary prayers between the adhan and the iqamah, with the exception of the 2 situations that I have mentioned to you. His second question was, so many times he enters the masjid while the imam is giving his sermon, he's giving his speech in Jum'ah, in Friday, and he says to those before sitting or after sitting, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and no one replies to him. So he says, is this acceptable? And the answer is yes. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, whoever says to his companion, to his friends, the person sitting next to him, shh, or listen, while the imam is giving his khutbah, while the imam is giving his sermon, then he has committed an act of laghu, which would probably nullify his Friday, in the sense that he would not be rewarded. He should stay, continue to listen, pray 2 rak'ahs, and it's Jum'ah, but he will not be rewarded for that. Why? Because he spoke to his companion, he spoke to his friend, and he was saying to him something that is legitimate. It is not permissible to speak. So he did not speak, he simply uttered the hushing word, shh. Yet this by itself is also not permissible in Friday. So when you come to the masjid and the imam is giving khutbah, you should not say anything. If someone greets you, hey, how are you, what's happening, you do not respond to them at all. After Friday prayer, you tell them that what they had done was wrong and it's inappropriate. Now, if a person comes to the masjid and the congregation is over, so he's going to pray on his own, his fard prayer, should he pray first 2 rak'ah before sitting down, or should he pray the fard immediately? No, he should not, or he is not to pray the 2 rak'ahs unless he intends to sit. As long as he does not intend to sit, he intends to pray, then the fard prayer, the mandatory prayer, takes the role of Tahiyyat al-Masjid, and it suffices him. So if you missed Maghrib, you go to the masjid, give iqamah, pray 3 rak'ahs of Maghrib and sit. No problem. Don't I have to pray 2 rak'ahs? No. The 3 rak'ahs of Maghrib did the job for you. Iman from the Emirates, she says that is there any authenticity or basis to reciting Surah Yasin, a portion of the Quran, a certain surah, or a number of the names of Allah and His beautiful attributes a set of times before going into an important meeting or a gathering or interview or work? Is there any basis for that? The answer is no. There isn't anything except that when you go, you have your full trust, reliance and dependence on Allah. Have full tawakkul on Allah. And if you supplicate, if you raise your hand and praise Allah, offer salutation to the Prophet ﷺ and say, oh Allah, facilitate my meeting and make it easy, make it successful, and you go, this is permissible. But to say that there is a set of verses or surahs to be recited, this is baseless. Abu Khadija, he's asking which is best, to pray in a prayer room or in a masjid? Definitely, without any doubt, the prayer in a masjid comes first and nothing comes close to it. To the extent that the Prophet tells us that with every step you make to the masjid, Allah would grant you a good deed, erases a bad deed, and elevate you one level in paradise. And this is for the masjid. And the Prophet told us that a man's prayer in the masjid is better than his prayer in his market, in his souk, in the sense that in his business offices or in where he works. So the prayer in the masjid is definitely more rewardable, and this is what you should do. He says that the sister is complaining that her husband uttered the word of divorce 3 times at the same time. So he said, Anti taliq, 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 or Anti taliq bithalatha, you're divorced thrice. And this is his first time. What should be done? And they live in the USA. They should consult the Imam of the Islamic Center where they live. But theoretically speaking, technically speaking, it's an issue of dispute. Some scholars say that when a man says to his wife, you're divorced, 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 then she becomes forbidden totally for him until she marries another man. He cannot remarry her again or reconcile until she marries another man and has sexual relationship and then be divorced without any intention for getting back to the first husband. It has to be a legitimate second marriage. And the most authentic opinion is that divorcing a woman 3 times at the same time takes place only once. So if you say to your wife, you're divorced, 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 this takes place as one divorce. And the second divorce cannot take place until you reconcile your wife. After reconciliation, you may divorce her again. And we all know that there is legitimate divorce and an innovated forbidden divorce. And a lot of the Muslims, 99% of the divorces take place in the innovation forbidden category. Because you cannot divorce your wife except by 2 means. Either when she's pregnant, and the consensus of scholars say that when a pregnant woman is divorced, the divorce takes place. Or when she is in the period after her menses. So after she gets her menses and she is pure and you did not have any intimacy with her, if you divorce her, this is a divorce in accordance to the sunnah and it is valid. Any other such divorce is considered to be innovated. We have Brother Isa from Emirates. Brother Isa.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam rahmatullah.
I'm sorry, Sheikh. I guess the name was mentioned a little bit wrong. My name is Aisha.
Aisha, yes, Aisha.
Yes.
Apologies.
Okay. Sheikh, I have 3 questions for you, if you don't mind me asking them. The first one would be, is there a ruling on how to cut the finger and the toenail?
Okay.
Is there like a sunnah for it? And also I would like to ask you if there is anything like a such thing called shukr salah. You know, like when you're grateful to Allah and you just offer, for example, 2 rakat for being grateful. Okay. I don't know if this is permissible or if this is bid'ah.
Okay.
And also, which is related to this question, for example, if I want to ask Allah for something special, am I allowed to offer 2 rakah, for example, just to ask for the special thing, or is that also not permissible?
Okay.
And and the last question, if you don't mind me asking, you had already dropped it a little bit in the beginning. When joining the salah in the masjid, and per se I'm a little bit late, so what would be the ruling on me joining them properly? What do I do?
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, like for example, if I go into the masjid and they already started the Jummah prayer, and because like let's say I missed the beginning, so what do I do to join them properly?
Okay.
Like what is the correct? Yeah.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Nasser from Saudi. Ya Nasser.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, Sheikh, I want to ask one question about mustache. That how can, if I use the razor, that's acceptable, or if I use the trimmer, that is acceptable, or I use a shaver. What is the best one for the mustache? Because I left the beard for same like sunnah, and I want to just only justify about that for mustache. So please tell me about that. What is the best way?
I will, inshallah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. Abdullah from Nigeria. Ya Abdullah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah, and good evening to you. Listen to me from the phone, Abdullah.
Inshallah. Yeah, Sheikh, I'm asking about the authenticity of the hadith. It says that a person walking to the Friday mosque on a Friday is being rewarded for a year's worth of ibadah for every step.
Okay.
I'd like to know the authenticity of this hadith.
Okay. I will answer the question, inshallah. Okay, we will answer the questions that we have, inshallah. Imran from Saudi Arabia, he's saying that he comes from the subcontinent and they have a different set of prayers that they pray as a set. So Fajr they pray 4, Dhuhr they pray like 10 or 12, Asr 4, Maghrib 5 or sometimes 11, Isha 17. So he's asking, what is this in Islam? Whether you are Hanafi, Shafi'i, Malki or Hanbali, the prayers are 17 in units. 2 for Fajr, 4 for Dhuhr, 4 for Asr, 3 for Maghrib, 4 for Isha. These are the mandatory prayers that you have to pray. Now, the nomad who came to the Bedouin who came to the Prophet, is there anything more? The Prophet said, nothing except if you offer voluntary prayers. And the man said, by Allah, I will not add anything more. And the Prophet said to his companions, if you want to look at someone of paradise, this is the man. Meaning that this is the glad tidings. If he is truthful, he will be in paradise. Now, having said that, there are voluntary prayers. So what are the voluntary prayers that I should be aware of? The Prophet told us, whoever prays 12 rak'ahs in the day and night, Allah will build him a house, a palace in Jannah. And what are these 12 rak'ahs? 2 before Fajr, 4 before Dhuhr, 2 after Dhuhr, 2 after Maghrib, and 2 after Isha. These are 12 rak'ahs. So, is it mandatory? Nope. You can pray the mandatory prayers only and neglect those, but you will be losing a lot of good reward. After that, is there anything more? Yes, there is what is known as night prayer. And night prayer, the Prophet used to pray, 11 rak'ahs. And the minimum is 1, which is witr. So, those who say 17 usually are referring to 4 for Isha and 2 for Sunnat al-Isha, that's 6, and you add to that 7 rak'ahs of witr, 3, 2, 2, 2, and 1. This is what they usually refer to. You can add, you can subtract, this is up to you. So this is what has to be followed. Now, to restrict yourself and say, no, I have to pray this set and consider the whole set as a unit, meaning you don't differentiate between fard and sunnah, this is something that is serious and should be addressed. Now, Aisha from the Emirates, she's saying, is there any etiquette for cutting the toes, the nails of your fingers and your toes? Meaning, do I begin with the pinky or with the thumb? The sky is the limit. Whatever you want to do, it is permissible for you to do. And which is best, to remove the left fingers first or the right finger first? If you consider this to be as a form of worship, then begin with your right. If you consider it to be removing filth, then begin with your left And alhamdulillah, the sky is the limit, and it's all acceptable. Her second question is, what's the ruling on Salat al-Shukr? If I pray 2 rak'ahs of gratitude to Allah Azza wa Jal, I'm being thankful. This is, to my knowledge, baseless in the Sunnah. There isn't any authentic hadith of that. The hadith that is authentic in regard of the prostration of gratitude. And this happens if you get something that you were not expecting, or something that happens once every blue moon. For example, you're in the office and someone tells you, MashaAllah, the operation they had done or performed to your friend was successful, and now he is cancer-free. And you love your friend, so you prostrate as a form of gratitude to Allah. This is permissible. What's not permissible is that every time you get your paycheck, at the end of the month, you prostrate. Because this is ongoing, it's happening. Or whenever someone gives you a glass of juice, you prostrate to Allah as a form of gratitude. This is not permissible. To say that there is a specific prayer for showing your gratitude to Allah Azza wa Jal, this is something that is not part of the Sunnah, and you should not do this. If I have something to ask of Allah, for example, tomorrow I have an interview for a job, and I'd like to ask Allah Azza wa Jal, can I pray 2 rak'ahs and ask Allah in them? There isn't any specific 2 rak'ahs. Yes, if you want to pray generally, voluntary prayer, 2 rak'ahs, just like that, no problem. But to specifically say, no, I'm going to pray 2 rak'ahs to ask Allah, no, this is not recommended. When do you ask Allah? Ya akhi, oh my sister, the sky is the limit. Between every adhan and iqamah, 5 times a day, when the muadhin gives his adhan until the iqamah, this is a time for supplication. Raise your hands, praise Allah, offer salutation to the Prophet ﷺ, and ask what you want. When you are in the position of prostration, when you're prostrating to Allah in prayer, ask Allah whatever you want. When you are at the last tashahhud, just before concluding your prayer with salam, ask Allah whatever you want. When you are in the third part, or the last third part of the night, just before Fajr, raise your hands and ask Allah whatever you want. When rain is falling, ask Allah whatever you want. All of these are times where Allah accepts your prayer without even praying to Him. And her fourth question, she says, if I come late for a congregation, how would I join? No matter what the Imam, where the Imam is, you join him, and this is your first rak'ah. So if the Imam has prayed 3 rak'ahs, now he's in the 4th rak'ah, and you join him in the 4th rak'ah, this is your first. So you recite Al-Fatiha, you recite whatever surah is possible afterwards. When he bows, you bow, you follow him. When he sits for the tashahhud, you sit because you have to follow the Imam. Once he gives as-salam and concludes your prayer, you stand up for your second rak'ah. So you pray, you recite the Fatiha, the surah, and you sit for the tashahhud. Then you stand up for the 3rd rak'ah, 4th rak'ah, and you conclude. So whenever you join the Imam in any rak'ahs, regardless, this is considered to be your first rak'ah. And when he offers salam, you continue your 2nd or your 3rd or your 4th rak'ah as well. Nasser from Saudi Arabia, he's asking, now the mustache, what to do with the mustache? Should I shave it with an eraser, with a razor blade? Should I trim it? Should I just use a shaving machine, electrical shaving machine? Shaving it with a razor blade is not recommended. And it was reported that Imam Malik ibn Anas, may Allah have mercy on his soul, said that this is mutilation. When a man shaves it with a beard, with a razor blade, this is a mutilation. And to trim it with scissors, this is permissible, so that nothing exceeds the upper lip. So this is the limit. Now, if you use a shaving machine or a trimmer that just keeps the root of it, but not shaving it completely with a razor blade, then this is the most preferred and highly recommended. Why? Because it keeps the mustache, it keeps the root, so you have a mustache, but it does not have any loose ends that would carry any. Okay, I think we have Iman again. Iman?
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Sir, I have to ask a question related to living in non-Muslim countries and getting their passports just for the worldly sake, and the intention of living there is that we just have a secure future, and our future and our children's future is secure, and we have got human rights there, as the Muslim countries are not providing those human rights, or you can say the safety and the self-respect to the Muslims right now in the current situation. So I just want to know that what is like the authentication about this, that can we just get the passport of those countries and get back to any Muslim country and having the intention that we can get some higher salary scales and our pay scales would be revised and some things like this.
You're asking about someone who has gone already or thinking?
No, if somebody is planning to go there. Like,
okay, I will
planning to go there just because like it's not the intention for the sake of dawah, but the intention is just to get and live peacefully there.
I will answer your question, inshallah.
And one more question, sir.
Okay.
That is it allowed to take loan from someone about whom we know that their earning is not halal, is not pure? Is it allowed for us to take loan from them or even accept gifts from them?
Okay. I will answer your question, inshallah. Muhammad from the Emirates.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have a question about it. I know that the Nawafil you're supposed to do better to do 3 times a month, Ayyam Dab or Thursday, Monday, but I have only holidays Friday, Saturday, and I don't want it to be affected at my work. So can I do a Saturday, or it's not recommended? And my second question...
For Ashura you mean, right?
Understood my first question?
You're asking about
can
Ashura.
I do only Saturday instead of Thursday or Monday? Because Saturday I have off.
Every week. You're talking about every week fasting Saturday.
Well, instead of doing Monday or Thursday, I can do Saturday because Saturday I have off. Of course, Friday I have off, but it's not recommended. How about Saturday? Can I do my Nawafil sometimes on Saturday? Either every week or sometimes.
Okay.
My second question, when you do, and you remember you made a mistake in the order. Let's say I did raise my elbow and all that, and I remember that I did not wash my face. Can I go back to the face and again from that time do the order, or I have to start all over again?
I'm unable to understand your words, Sister Muhammad. You mistakes in mistakes in what?
If I'm trying to do wudu, and I made a mistake in the order, like for example, you have to do your hand and then your face, and then your hand till the elbow. But then I remember that I did not raise my face, and I continued with the rest. Do I have to repeat from the beginning, or I can just continue from there? Or if I finish my wudu and then I remember that it was some wrong sequence, can I do that, or I have to repeat all over again?
Okay, I will answer the question, inshallah.
And my last question was, Sheikh, I asked you about dua that between Adhan and Iqama. Is it between my Iqama as a lady or Iqamat al-Masjid? And you said you will do the test in Ramadan and you get back to me. I don't know if you did, but I never had my question.
Okay.
Jazakallah.
Wa jazakum. I did not hear that. Rahma from Kuwait.
Yeah.
Yes, what can I do for you?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Sheikh, I want to ask, in the Ramadan I travel.
Okay.
So I fast also.
Okay.
So we have some passengers in the flight, so we break the fast together. When I come back, one of my sons tell me that this day my fast is not valid. I have to fast 1 day more to replace this date. This is the first question.
Okay.
The second question is it true that if a lady puts a perfume and go outside, another man, smell the perfume, you have to wash janaba?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah, only this.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Jazakumullah khair.
Wa jazakum. Okay, Abdullah is from Nigeria. He was cut off. He was asking about the reward of a year of fasting and prayer if you walk to the masjid. The whole hadith is authentic. The Prophet said عليه الصلاة والسلام إنه من غسل واغتسل وبكر وابتكر ومشى ولم يركب ودنا من الإمام واستمع وانصت ولم يلغو كتب له بكل خطوة يخطوها من بيته إلى المسجد أجر سنة قيامها وصيامها. That whoever washes and thoroughly takes a good ghusl and he goes early, very early to the masjid, and he walks and does not write, and he sits close to the imam as much as possible, and he listens and he does not speak or do anything that interrupts his listening, Allah Azza wa Jal would reward him for every step he makes from his home to the masjid, the reward of a whole year prayer and fasting. Meaning that if from here to my masjid it's 1,000 steps, Allah would give me the reward of 1,000 years that I had prayed night prayer and that I have fasted every single day of that 1,000 years. What a reward! Yet the people come only just seconds before the iqamah. And the best of them come 15 minutes before the khutbah starts. And this shows you how heedless Muslims are. The hadith is authentic and very little, very few of the Muslims do this. Iman from the Emirates, she's saying that what is the ruling on people planning to go to Canada, to the US, to Europe for simply raising the level or the standard of living of theirs. It's better wages, better healthcare without any doubt. It is a place where people have their dignity and enjoy being human. Human rights are being fulfilled. So she calls. And she gives a beautiful picture that while listening to her question, I was thinking, now, where should I go and live? Should I go to the UK and obtain a passport just to be in a better place? So she's saying, is this permissible? They're not going for da'wah. They're simply going there to get the citizenship and then work in a Muslim country or live anywhere else. Is this permissible? It's an issue of dispute. My own personal opinion that it is not permissible. It is not permitted for a Muslim to leave his Muslim country unless there is a threat on his life. As in such countries, you know, where they have bombs exploding every now and then, and massacres in masjids, and suicide bombers here and there, and corruption. In countries I don't want to know, to call or to name, you all know them. Corruption that has reached epidemic proportions, to the extent that you cannot even do anything without bribing someone. So if there is danger, imminent danger on your life or the life of your loved ones, you have to move on to another country, Islamically, preferably to be a Muslim country, and to live there. If there's no way, no other way for a Muslim country to accept you, unfortunately, because of these imaginary borders they have built around their countries, not allowing people to come except with very strict conditions, and there's no way for you safe to live, in this case, yes, you can go to these countries and obtain their citizenship just to live a peaceful and normal life. But to my knowledge, there isn't such a country that your life is threatened if you stay in. Even in the worst countries, you can still live, but it's not that lucrative and nice to live in. Living in the West or going to these countries to obtain their citizenship, it is very dangerous. I know a lot of families who are weeping blood because they can't control their daughters, 16, 17 years old. She's running away with her boyfriend, and they're Muslims. What can they do? Or with their son who lives with his girlfriend and does crack and dope and parties and has nothing to relate him to Islam. What did the money benefit them? What did the standard of living give them extra? They've lost their family, they've lost their future for what? A house bought in mortgage in riba haram, a 50-inch LCD screen to watch haram things on, to go and live like the Westerners and party and have mixed marriages and maybe this or that. What did you retain? What did you gain? Nothing. And after death, you will see the consequences more visible. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us all from such an end. Therefore, I personally believe that you should not go. But if a person has already gone and obtained, to obtain the citizenship, you have to give your pledge of allegiance, and it might even nullify your Islam. When you give your allegiance to the cross or to something that does not relate to your religion, and you swear and you maybe put your hand on the Bible, and all of this for what? All of these things have to be studied and addressed accordingly. Her second question, Iman, about a loan from someone's income is haram. So I need 1,000 riyals, and my neighbor works in a bank, and it's an interest-based bank. Can I borrow from him? The answer is yes. My other friend sells this or that. Can I borrow? Yes, because borrowing is permissible for me, and I will return the money that I've borrowed. Regardless, the example or the evidence from this is that the Prophet died, alayhi salatu wasalam, while having his shield with a Jew whom the Prophet buried, from whom the Prophet ﷺ borrowed some barley from, and he put this shield of his as a guarantee that he will pay him back. So the Prophet borrowed actually from a Jew. And we know that the Jews, Allah Azza wa Jal described them as in Surah An-Nisa, فَبِأَخْذِهِمُ الرِّبَى وَقَدْ نُهُوا عَنْهُ. They are taking interest, and they have been denied not to take it. وَأَكْلِهِمْ أَمْوَالَ النَّاسِ الْبَاطِلِ. And they embezzle and they take and they consume the wealth of the people by falsehood. And all of this is haram. Yet the Prophet borrowed from him. Therefore, it is permissible for you to borrow from them. Okay, we have Halima from Nigeria. I think we've lost Halima. I apologize. Rayyan, this is the last call from Emirates. MashaAllah, we have a lot of the people from Emirates calling. MashaAllah.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Three questions.
Yes.
The first question is reading Dua Qunut in Salatul Fajr in the second rakat after ruku.
Okay, what's the question?
The second question is any particular prayer for the 10th of Muharram, the Ashura.
What is the first question,
Yes,
Rayyan?
the first question, sir, is reading Dua Qunut in Salatul Fajr. Allahumma dini fi man hadayt.
Yes, what you want to know, what is the ruling?
Yes, if it's right to do that.
Okay, second question?
Second, any particular prayer for the 10th of Muharram, the Yom Ashura.
Okay, third
And
question?
the third question is reading Surah Yasin or Surah Muzammil in the morning.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazakum. So that was the last question. We have few minutes, inshallah. Let us hope that we can answer yours. Muhammad from the Emirates, she's saying that in the Emirates, Friday and Saturday is their weekend. And because she works, she cannot fast Mondays and Thursdays. So is it permissible for her to shift her fasting into a Saturday? And the answer is no. It is not permissible to fast Saturdays on voluntary basis without any legitimate reason. And she says that I know we cannot fast Friday. Well, actually, let me correct this for you. You're not allowed to isolate Friday with fasting. But if you, because it's your weekend, fast Friday and Saturday, this is permissible. This is permitted. And the evidence behind this is what was reported in the Sahih Hadith Juwayriya bint al-Harith, may Allah be pleased with her. She said that the Prophet ﷺ entered on a day of Friday while I was fasting. And he asked me, did you fast the day before? Meaning Thursday? I said, no. Then he said, do you want to fast the following day? And I said, no, which is Saturday. And then the Prophet told her, ﷺ, in this case, break your fast. Meaning that because you're not fasting a day with Friday, isolating it is not permissible. And this means that if you fast Friday and Saturday, this is permitted, and this would become permissible for you as well. She says that if I make wudu, I know that one of the pillars of wudu we have 6 pillars of wudu, as you all know. Washing the face, washing the arms till the elbows, wiping over the head and washing the feet, the sequence, and not leaving intervals, long intervals. So she's talking about the sequence because Allah mentioned this in Surah Al-Ma'idah, and He mentioned it in sequence. So she says, if for example, I rinsed my mouth, I sniffed water up my nostrils and pushed it out, washed my face, and then wiped over my head, and then washed my arms, and then washed my feet. Then I remembered that I made a mistake. What should I do? Well, actually you did the face correct, and then you did the arms correct, but in between you put wiping of the head. So this is invalid. So if you remembered before you finish, then you have to simply wipe your head again and then wash your feet so that it would be in sequence. Okay. She's asked me a question in Ramadan. The dua between adhan and iqamah, should it be the adhan and iqamah of myself in my home or the adhan and iqamah of the masjid? And the answer is the adhan and iqamah of yours. So if you leave a gap of half an hour between the adhan and the iqamah, between the time of the prayer begins and your own iqamah in your home, this is a time for you to make dua. Rahma from Kuwait, she's saying that her son told her that the day she fasted while traveling is invalid. He's wrong. Your fasting is correct as long as you broke your fast until when the sun set. When you saw the sun setting while you were on the plane, this is correct, inshallah. And she's asking about the ruling on a woman going out with perfume. If she goes out, is that permissible? The answer is this is not permissible. The Prophet ﷺ described a woman who goes in wearing perfume and men find her scent. She passes by men, in a driver, a shopkeeper, and they find her scent. She is sinful as the sin of a fornicator. And Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, saw a woman coming out of her home, going to the masjid, and he found some scent of perfume with her, and he told her, go back and have a shower or have ghusl as if you are in the state of sexual impurity, because this is what the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam. Quickly, dua al-qunut for Fajr, Rayyan, this is not recommended. It's only in the Shafi'i madhab, and it is against the Sunnah. Salat Ashura, is there any particular prayer for Ashura? There isn't any form of worship to be offered in Ashura except fasting that day. And reciting Surah Yasin and Al-Muzammil after Fajr, this is not part of the Sunnah. If you do it on regular basis, this becomes an innovation. This is all the time we have. Until we meet you next time, inshaAllah. Fi amanillah wa salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass.
And that is why we do not go down to the level of the disbelievers. If they want to celebrate their occasions, it's up to them. We have nothing to do with it. Now one asks and says, what about if they come to us and say, good morning, Merry Christmas to you? You should not respond. You should either say, good morning to you as well, or you should say thank you, or even may Allah guide you. But never say, and to you as well, or Merry Christmas to you as well, and enjoy your New Year vacation. All of this is prohibited and forbidden in Islam. Another person would ask, but they always say Happy Eid for us. And we have two occasions in Islam, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So they come and greet us. Well, greet them back saying thank you. And I hope that you also enjoy your vacation on Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha. Why? Because our Eids are legit. They are from the Quran and from the Sunnah. And our religion is the correct religion. That's the end of discussion. We don't have to go down to explaining ourselves. Our religion is the religion, the only religion acceptable at the side of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and festivals. It is completely impermissible for Muslims to greet them. So you cannot greet them whether they are original holidays or feasts, or in the religion that is, or it is fabricated. So for example, Thanksgiving. This is not part of Christianity. It is a celebration because of the first harvest that the immigrants to the new lands had after so many years of starvation and drought, etc. So they're commemorating that day with what's known as Thanksgiving. This is not in Christianity, but it is related to their culture and to their religion, and that is why it's forbidden for us to greet them with this festival. Christmas, New Year's, Easter, all of these occasions, it is not permissible for a Muslim to say Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Easter, Halloween, etc. All of these are fabricated. The scholars of Islam say that it is completely prohibited to greet them. And this is the consensus of Muslims, not one or two who said it is not permissible. Now, having said that, some scholars go to the extreme where they say that whoever greets them may...
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasulih al-ameen. Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Ask Huda, coming to you live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And you can call us on the numbers you will find displayed at the bottom of the screen, inshallah. The first question on my emails is, can we as Muslims say or wish someone happy Christmas or say Christmas greetings? The scholars of Islam all agree. It is the consensus of all scholars of Islam that it is not permissible to greet the non-Muslims on their religious feasts, holiday, nullify his Islam. Because you're greeting them and you are congratulating them on a sin, on blasphemy, on making Jesus the Son of God. And this is blasphemy in Islam. If someone says that Jesus is God or he's the Son of God, he's not a Muslim, he's not a believer, he's doomed in hell. So when you come to them and say Merry Christmas and greeting them on that occasion, then this may nullify your Islam as a Muslim as well. But if not, then at least it is a major sin, and it is like congratulating them if one is fornicating and you say, oh, good job, good for you. Or he's consuming intoxicants, or he's prostrating to the cross, and you're congratulating them and giving him your greetings. Now, I believe that the majority of Muslims know this, and that is why they don't send greeting cards on these occasions to the non-Muslims. Not because they're rude, not because the Muslims have something against these events or something personal. It is an issue of religion. As Muslims, we are proud of our identity, we're proud of our religion, and we have great respect to that. Now, a lot of the Muslims, or some of them, may fall under the inferiority complex. And you would find Muslims having Christmas trees and giving gifts and enjoying the season of Christmas and New Year because it's holidays, they go out, they go party. Now these people fall under the category where the Prophet said in the authentic hadith, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَمَنْ تَشَبَّهَ بِقَوْمٍ فَهُمْ مِنْهُ. Whoever imitates a group of people, he is among them and from them. So if you imitate the disbelievers, you may become one as well. That is why it is completely prohibited to decorate the eggs, as in Easter, with the Orthodox may do. It's in Egypt, it's done in Lebanon. This is completely unacceptable. Ahmed from Saudi Arabia. Ahmed. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have a question. My wife is mentioning that whenever we have wudu, and if I touch her, we have to make wudu one more time. Is that right?
Okay. Any more questions?
That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Ahmed is asking about